the new-collar workforce, HBS professors Colleen Ammerman and Boris Groysberg, with Ginni Rometty, former CEO of IBM, demonstrate how to take a skills-first approach to hiring and managing. It involves writing job descriptions that emphasize capabilities, not credentials, creating apprenticeships, internships, and training programs for people without college degrees, collaborating with educational institutions and other outside partners to expand the talent pool, helping hiring managers embrace skills-first thinking, bringing on board a critical mass of workers without degrees, and building a supportive organizational culture. A few companies are already taking this approach and demonstrating its benefits for firms, workers, and society as a whole. Robert I. Sutton and Huggy Rao of Stanford devoted 8 years to learning about how leaders serve as trustees of others' time, how they prevent or remove barriers that undermine the zeal, damage the health, and throttle the creativity and productivity of good people. In Rid Your Organization of Obstacles That Infuriate Everyone, they focus on addiction sickness, the unnecessary rules, procedures, communications, tools, and roles that seem to grow inexorably, stifling productivity and creativity. They show why companies are prone to this affliction and describe how leaders can treat it. The first step is to conduct a good riddance review to identify obstacles that can and should be removed. The next is to employ subtraction tools, such as the rule of halves and the subtraction game, to eliminate those obstacles or make it difficult for people to add them in the first place. Amid economic uncertainty, corporate belt-tightening, and efforts to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts through both court rulings and legislation, the push for DEI has slowed. Much of the progress we've made over the past few years is at risk, and advocates for DEI may feel at a loss. Laura Morgan Roberts of the University of Virginia argues that to bring advocates and critics of diversity together, leaders must orient around a broader goal: creating the conditions in which all workers can flourish. In Where Does DEI Go From Here?, you will learn to foster 4 freedoms at work: the freedom to be, the freedom to become, the freedom to fade, that is, to occasionally step back from performance pressure, and the freedom to fail. Interventions such as encouraging individual allyship, implementing strengths-based development programs, and enabling flexible work can make organizations safer and more welcoming for everyone. Professional services partners are responsible not just for delivering services, but also for the entire business development process. As rainmakers, they must build awareness of their expertise in the market to generate demand, identify and close new client business, deliver the work to the client, and renew and expand the relationship over time. But the old rainmaker playbook is out of date. Clients are much less loyal to firms and partners than they once were. In What Today's Rainmakers Do Differently, authors from the professional services consultancy DCM Insights lay out the key behaviors of activators, their name for partners with the most successful approach. Activators connect networks of colleagues and clients, create value through collaboration, and commit to a proactive and consistent business development routine. This article provides tips to help you identify activators and build a team of them in your organization. Governments around the world are increasingly intervening in the private sector through policies designed to help targeted domestic industries, such as automaking, energy, and semiconductor manufacturing. Those affected can expect to experience dramatic changes in their operating environments, such as new costs, investments to build manufacturing capacity, or incentives to trade with preferred partners. In The New Era of Industrial Policy Is Here, HBS professor Willie C. Shih outlines some of these policy approaches and offers a framework for responding to them. Leaders will need to understand the competing interests shaping the policies, engage and educate political leaders and their staffs, collaborate with upstream and downstream partners, and weigh the pros and cons of accepting government incentives. Corporate strategies created during what we will probably look back on as a golden age of globalization will have to be recast for a more fragmented world, taking into account varying country contexts and constraints and tailoring approaches to fit different markets.